How are you doing? I'm Pat English, and I just want to go over my digital poster with you. The title of it is Failure to Launch, Improving College Enrollment and Retention. And I use that failure to launch analogy in that I feel like there are a lot of people that want to take advantage of adult education, but they just can't pull the trigger for a number of reasons. Or once they do, they have a hard time continuing it and following through. And so we're going to talk about some of those issues that might be causing these problems and maybe come up with some solutions. This is a big poster, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide it up into the 4 columns that you see here, and we'll go at them one at a time. This is the introduction part of the poster, and so here we just talk about the problems that a lot of adult learners have. They fall into 2 categories, really. The traditional way colleges and higher education does business, that's a big problem. And then the even bigger problem is opportunity cost. And those are the opportunity costs are the things that we have to give up in order to take advantage of this opportunity. And it could be it's going to cost money, it's going to take a lot of time, it's going to take us away from our job, our families. And so we need to try to overcome those costs in order to help these adult learners get ahead and get into adult education. Literacy is another issue that affects a lot of people, and so that's also part of this intake process that the colleges use that can be daunting to people who have been away from education or that are have literacy issues to begin with. We're going to be discussing this in historical, social, and political context, but the setting is any kind of adult education, higher education, work education, any of the above. Now, we've talked about some of the problems, and so let's talk about some of the solutions. College intake processes are notoriously complex and hard to navigate if you don't have the confidence to do it or you don't have someone to guide you. And so we need to make those simpler. The testing procedures, maybe we need to make those a little simpler, especially for people with literacy issues, some contextual testing and instruction that will put them in the comfort zone of their vocation while they're doing this and help them to be able to relate to what's being taught a little bit better. We also need to be more flexible with our scheduling. The traditional higher education scheduling process, the semester length, the class length, things like that are very hard on people at times. And it's hard pulling people away from their family and work, but especially if daycare is an issue, we just need to start looking at some out-of-the-box solutions to assist these adult learners. We also want to talk briefly about employers and the school getting together in partnership to form a support system to assist these learners. More than anything, we just want to overcome all these opportunity costs and help everybody to have a happy and productive life. Now, here are some recommendations for practice. Most of them are policy changes, and a lot of them go against the traditional higher education model, but that's why we're here. We need to adopt some appropriate intake procedures and testing. We also need to change our scheduling process, offer daycare if that becomes an issue. Schools also need to go into partnership with industry and local businesses so that the workers that are there that want that higher education can see a clear pathway that they can follow to progress in their job while they're getting an education, maybe even get a bonus along the way as the employer realizes that they have a better employee and we're producing better citizens in general. But these opportunity costs I talked about, it's those things that you have to give up. I know when I was in school, being away from my family, not being able to work or working 2 jobs, things like that, those are the costs we need to try to alleviate. In summary, there are a lot of people that have literacy issues in America, a lot of workers. And so we need to first get that basic literacy level up. We also need to change things and look at things from the perspective of the student and not just from what's convenient for the school or what's traditionally been done. there are a lot of things here that we can change if we just focus on it. If you have any questions, my email address is there at the bottom. I appreciate your time. What we want to come out of this is we want to be able to have a successful launch, not one that falters and falls and crashes and burns, but one that allows the student to reach their potential and to go as far as they want to go. Thanks for your time.